Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is a chart for the full moon, 22nd December at 1748, set for London, and I'm using whole signs as the houses to get a clear picture. Now, we've just had the Winter Solstice, and it is a process, it's a 3-day process when, as seen from Earth, the sun is changing direction and we are returning to the light, which is of course good news for us in the Northern Hemisphere. And it is a turning point of the year, along with the summer solstice and the 2 equinoxes. And this is to do with this sign of Capricorn. So here is the sun, the full moon, sun here in Capricorn, and opposite the moon in its own sign of Cancer. Now, there are a lot of planets at the moment. Well, there's Saturn and Pluto and the South Node now, all in Capricorn. And the UK is a Capricorn sun sign at 10 degrees of Capricorn. So it celebrates the 1801 chart. And if you notice, Saturn is at 10 degrees. So the UK, of course, is going through a very stressful time, and it is all about Brexit. However, not to go down that line with you today. Following the star. This is the phrase that I see outside churches, and it is, of course, the celebration of Christmas. Now, there are many astrologers who have looked at a possible date for the birth of Jesus Christ. And what is notable is quite a few of them are looking at the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the sign of Pisces, and we're talking a very long time ago, around like 7 BC. But if you notice, that combination of Pisces is very much to do with religion, the Christian religion. And here at this moment we have Neptune, a long journey through Pisces, and we have Mars and Chiron. Now, Mars has been retrograde throughout 2018. It's caused a lot of problems for a lot of people in the sign of Aquarius, and it was mixed up with eclipses, which is always complicated and difficult. Mars retrograde happens every 2 and a bit years, so it's not a usual retrograde in terms of every year. However, Mars is now moving slowly but surely out of Pisces, and it will go into Aries in the new year. Meanwhile, it is very close to Chiron, and Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer, and this is about compassion for oneself as much as others, self-love. And it's a very difficult position for Chiron in Pisces. If you were born in the 60s, most probably you do have Chiron in that sign. And it can really feel as if you've been forsaken by God. It's on a spiritual level, it's a really difficult position for Chiron to be in. Now, if you notice what's happening, all these blue lines indicate a very positive flow of energy. And Venus here in Scorpio is making this beautiful trine to Neptune, and it is moving reasonably fast. It's also been retrograde this year. It also will trine Mars and Chiron. So the love, Venus in Scorpio, which is a very sexual sign as such, but it's also a very deep sign. It's more to do with the energy of the sorceress, or the wizard energy. And the sexy signs happen to be more of the earth signs in astrology, very tactile and sensual. But Venus in Scorpio is deep, and it is, of course, the time of year when we are still in that waiting period for the light to truly return. It's winter, after all, in our northern hemisphere. Jupiter, this is a really important signature. Jupiter is in Sagittarius, and this is its own sign. It's called domicile. Saturn's in its own sign, the moon's in its own sign, they're all in their own signs at home. Jupiter brings us faith and hope for the future, and it's been complicated over the last few days because Mercury has been very close to Jupiter. Now, normally I'd say that is a very positive conjunction. However, there's been huge disruption in Gatwick because of a drone or drones seen flying over the airport. It does look as though hopefully it's finally resolved, but it struck me that Mercury, which of course is a very small planet and very fast moving, and Mercury isn't happy in that sign of Sagittarius, and you could think of it as the drone. Mercury is the little aeroplane, Jupiter the big aircraft. Sagittarius is very much connected to aeroplanes and flight itself. So hopefully that is all sorted. But it is interesting how one small thing can cause such horrendous disruption to so many thousands of people. And that brings to mind the importance of each of us as individuals. I can't find out where it is, but I do remember reading at one point, I think it was David Hawkins, who talked about if one person becomes truly enlightened, the shift that can occur on our planet would be stupendous. They're not his words, they're mine. But I thought about that and thinking, yes, we are, each of us as individuals, on a journey, I believe, of enlightenment, of feeling that connection to spirit or God or goddess or creator, but also embodying it in the sense of being in the body. We have a body, but we are not our body. I've got some wonderful books and I've been dipping into them over the last few days. The Holographic Universe, I highly recommend you look at it. It's full of amazing stories of miracles. So this is my goal in this newsletter today, is to focus on the miracle. The full moon is on Saturday, but also if I animate this chart a moment, I'll just move it forward. There we have it. So on Christmas Day, except for the later on in the day, but notice the moon will be in Leo. And Leo is a very fun, warm, playful energy, really gorgeous energy, and that moon is making a beautiful trine, a flow of energy to Jupiter. So it does signify at Christmas, if you look at the stars, that this energy of playfulness, hopefulness, being in the heart. Leo is very heart-centered. It's the lion, the lioness, and these amazing creatures, when they're together, are called, of course, the pride of lions. So I'd like you to be inspired to do something that brings that creative spirit out for you, and also that connection maybe with children, because the moon naturally belongs to children as well. So I wish you a happy Christmas, a beautiful full moon, and look forward to speaking to you in the new year. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com.